A $100,000 salary used to feel like success, the kind of number that meant you'd finally crossed into stability, but in 2026, it often feels uncomfortably fragile. And before you assume something is wrong with you, it's worth slowing down and looking at the math nobody ever walks you through. Because the feeling doesn't come from poor discipline or reckless spending, it comes from how quickly that six-figure number shrinks once it hits real life. Starting with taxes, since in the US, after federal income tax, state tax in many regions, Social Security, and Medicare, most people earning $100K are taking home roughly $65,000 to $70,000 a year. Sometimes less depending on location and benefits, which means your real monthly income isn't $8,000. It's closer to $5,500, and that difference alone quietly changes everything. Because every decision you make is now happening inside a much tighter box than the headline salary suggests. And this is where the identity shock begins. Because culturally, we still talk about $100K like it's a finish line, but financially, it's become more like a checkpoint, and once housing enters the equation, the pressure becomes impossible to ignore. Since in many major US and Canadian cities, a basic one-bedroom apartment now costs $2,000 to $2,500 a month, sometimes more. And that means before you've eaten, driven anywhere, or saved a single dollar, 40% or more of your take-home pay is gone just to exist indoors. And stay with me here, because this is where the budget quietly tightens further, as utilities, internet, phone plans, and renters or homeowners insurance add another $300 to $400. And these aren't luxury expenses, they're baseline requirements for modern life. Groceries come next, and this is one area where people underestimate the shift the most, because even cooking at home consistently, grocery costs now run $600 to $800 a month for a single adult, more if you're feeding a family. And then transportation steps in, whether that's a car payment, insurance, fuel, maintenance, registration, parking, or public transit, realistically pulling another $500 to $700. And at this point, before dining out, before vacations, before lifestyle upgrades, before anything that looks like enjoying your income, you're already hovering around $4,500 in fixed monthly expenses, leaving maybe $1,000 on paper. And this is the moment most people realize why the anxiety sets in. Because that remaining $1,000 isn't freedom, it's exposure, since student loan payments, health insurance deductibles, dental work, vision care, prescription costs, family support, travel obligations, or one unexpected repair can wipe it out instantly. And this is why people earning $100K say they feel broke. Because what they're really experiencing isn't low income, it's the absence of margin, and margin, not income, is what creates safety, confidence, and the ability to think long-term. And without margin, the brain stays in a constant low-grade stress state, even if the paycheck looks impressive on paper. And this is where psychology quietly takes over. Because humans don't measure financial success by numbers alone. They measure it by how safe they feel. And when stability depends on everything going perfectly every single month, the nervous system never relaxes. Which explains why so many high earners feel cautious, anxious, and hesitant to invest, even though they're doing well. And here's the uncomfortable truth. Most people never hear stated clearly, because the real issue isn't that you're failing or irresponsible. It's that the cost of stability has risen faster than wages for over a decade, as housing, healthcare, insurance, childcare, and taxes have steadily absorbed a larger share of income, while salary growth has lagged behind, and stability, not luxury, is what people are actually chasing, because stability is what allows you to invest consistently, plan years ahead, and weather market volatility without panic. And without it, even a six-figure income can feel like running hard without moving forward, which is also why comparing yourself to previous generations creates unnecessary shame, since they lived under a completely different cost structure with cheaper housing, lower medical expenses, stronger pensions, and more room for error. And once you understand that context, something important shifts, because you stop blaming yourself and start seeing the system clearly. And that clarity matters, since income alone no longer equals wealth. Margin does, and margin is built slowly, intentionally, and often invisibly, not through flashy upgrades or bigger lifestyles, but by creating space between what you earn and what you truly need, even if that space grows gradually. And understanding this is what allows you to make calmer, smarter financial decisions instead of constantly feeling behind. And if this explanation helped put words to a feeling you've had for a while, you'll want to stay here, because this channel is about understanding money the way it actually works in the real world today, not the version we were promised years ago.